Welcome back, everybody, to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. Join me, Sean, and my fellow American Rodney as we explore the good, the bad, and the just plain weird.
Leaves are turning brown, but the sky's still blue. Swedish winter's coming. Not a lot you can do.
That makes the song so much more relevant. California dream.
Yes. Yeah, we've turned that corner.
Wait, tomorrow. We're recording on a Monday night for reasons we will get into in a little bit.
Yes.
But tomorrow, Tuesday, is supposed to be like 20 and nice and sunny, right? Which means it's going to feel like 25.
Yeah,
Celsius,
like one,
of course.
like one block. There's going to be like one block of warmth.
You're going to wake up, it's going to be like 8 degrees, and then like the sun will pop up, and then it goes up to like 18, little 19, little 20 back down.
Exactly. Well, and you saw my post that I did with pants time.
Oh yes.
You know that is. We're definitely rounding now. I'm like a winter shorts wearer. So
famously.
That's me. That's
See, the problem I'm having is that I was planning on 2 weeks of fall because normally, sure, the end of August sometimes can be a little bit hit or miss, but normally you have that like bounce back in the beginning of September where it's like, okay, the last little kind of bit where you can like still do the t-shirt thing and like
squeezing it
squeezing
out of the tube.
That last bit of bacon cheese out of the tube.
Yeah.
But then this one, I don't know. I'm already like busting out the fall clothes and I'm like, well, better use it now. Use it or lose it.
Hey, today I was looking out the window, looking at all the outdoor furniture going, well, let's see, I can do the usual stack where I put the chairs on top of each other and I slip them under the table. But now we got two of those sun chair, like the
lounge chairs.
Yeah, the lounge type
exactly.
things. Two of those. So I'm sitting there going, well, this one's going to throw me for a little bit of a twist, but I'm sure that I could sneak those into the. So
just disassemble them and then put them back together in the spring.
So the planning, I'm already getting into the logistical planning of storing all the stuff, which
now see someone, I don't want to say of your age, but of your ilk with two pretty grown children. Yes. I imagine you this time of year like busting out a ladder, like a big extendable ladder, and getting up there and getting into the gutters and uttering all sorts of words that we can't say on this podcast.
Yeah.
In Swedish, probably.
Yeah, I'm not really a big gutter cleaning person. You just
let them get clogged up because you can't have a guy to do that here. There is no guy.
No. That's that thing we talked about. It's like people do all their own stuff.
Eventually, the gutters will just fall off and you buy new ones.
And that'll be on them, But there is and I can't remember what time of year it is when it happens, but there's been a couple of times where we look out the window and when we go out back, all of a sudden there's like, I don't know what you would call them, like tufts of moss, like little moss balls. Well,
like moss balls, tumbleweeds?
Like, kind of, but like little, like mini-ish. Well, they come from the roof. And I don't know what time of the year it is. So when you look out back,
so much moss on Rodney's roof, it just like falls off in the wind.
It's the greenery, and and there's birds that go up there too.
Now,
doing stuff there.
Thank God I've been to your house. I know you're not living in the Shire like a hobbit with like grass for a roof.
Yeah, the knoll. No, it's yeah. There's been a couple of times, and we figured out that there are birds involved in that process. And I'm not sure if it's the birds that feel so sorry for them. The birds look in the gutter and they're like, hey, we really need to help this guy out.
Well, at least it's not the moose climbing up there.
No, not yet. We haven't gotten to that point yet.
You need more leaves.
Sean, you have been out of the country.
I have.
You have been traveling.
I have. I have been in Croatia.
Croatia.
Which is part of the EU, but it's not part of the EU. It's very complicated.
Okay.
So technically, they're part of the European Union, but until next year, they have their currency, their like local currency. They don't have the euro, and they're not part of the Schengen zone. So you have to do the whole passport thing, and like when we were there, no one wanted to take credit card because of the currency conversion. All the banks would charge them like 15%, like conversion fees and all that stuff. So everyone's like, you roll up to like the beach bar,
right?
And it's like, oh yeah, no, we don't take card, only cash. But in like 5 kilometers down the road, there's an ATM. I'm like,
yeah.
But it was amazing. There, it's still like here in Sweden, it's. What did it top out at today? 17, maybe 18 Celsius.
Yeah.
And then, which isn't bad, but it could stand to be warmer. It was like that on like the end of August too. But like down there, it's 27, but then the sun's beating and like it feels like a solid 30 Celsius for sure.
Hey, but you guys didn't get any kind of bad weather when you were down there? Or?
The first day it was rainy, but I was doing some work remotely.
Right.
And so that was kind of working out perfectly. And it was supposed to be super rainy, but it was mostly just overcast and like it felt like it could drizzle any moment. But the rest of the time, it was wide open sun pretty much. And my God, the water. Wow. The last day, we had gone around to a bunch of different beaches, and there, like much in the Mediterranean style, except for Spain, a lot in Portugal, a lot of it is rock beaches. Okay. So some beaches have more rounded rocks, which are more comfortable on your feet. And some beaches have like kind of raw rock in this perfect size that you're just walking around and trying to get into the water going, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh,
yeah.
It's like, just get me deep enough and then I can float. And then it's
the buoyancy.
But yeah, the last day we went down the street from where our little Airbnb was, and they like had the little beach bar right there, and they had like the ice cream stand, which was perfect for Dylan, and then they were renting out stand-up paddle boards for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 euros for an hour, something like that.
Cash only. No credit cards, cash only.
I mean, you might as well be in Berlin. It's just cash only. They're like, digital currency. What are you talking about? But like, you would go out on the paddleboard, like the stand-up paddleboard, and you would be looking down. Probably now I can't do meters. I can do Celsius.
Do feet. Go ahead.
20 feet.
Okay.
Like looking through a pane of glass. You can see everything. I was like. The visibility was just incredible, and the people were super nice, and it was really, really nice. Great trip. Highly recommend if anyone's coming over to Europe. Definitely do a stop around Croatia. We were in Split, or like just to the north of Split, but really, really nice.
Because Lena on, I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday of last week, the weather was on, and she was looking at the weather, and I'm kind of looking at the weather, and she goes, "Uh-oh, rain in Croatia." And I was like, "Rain in Croatia?" I'm like, so?
Someone remembers a conversation from 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. I was like, price of eggs in Denmark? What, And I'm like, and then it struck me because she's looking at me. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Sean.
Yeah. He came to my house the other day and he told me about this trip.
That's right. And then he told me the day that he was leaving that he was going to Croatia, but the memory.
Yeah. But I mean, when we come back to Europe, Croatia is definitely going to be on the list. It's where we were in the area. I guess I didn't know this, but the whole region, it's not necessarily a province, I don't think. But it's like an old region that's called Dalmatia, as in Dalmatian, the dog with the spots. Oh. And it's... Scooby-Doo! And like the earth, like the plants and all that stuff, it's a lot like Greece. There's loads of grape growing, and up in the mountains they do wine. And like there's loads of all kinds of stuff like that. So it like makes you feel like you're in Greece, but it's not as
greasy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not so well trodden as Greece. Of like overly tourist, like all the kinds of like well beaten in things. Like when you're a tourist, this is where you go. Kind of like I likened it to Greece versus Croatia, Thailand versus Vietnam.
Okay.
Thailand's kind of got the system set up. Everyone there knows what to expect from tourists. And you kind of have all of your points that you need to go to. Whereas Vietnam, it's a little bit more, it's just burgeoning. That flower is still blooming. I guess I would say. Okay. But yeah, really, really nice.
That's why those rocks on the beaches in Croatia are still kind of sharp. They haven't had enough tourists. They haven't had enough tourist feet like taking those things.
Yes, exactly. Now, we didn't get to go out so much and try all the food. Apparently, they're famous there for grilled fish. But we met a friend there. There were 2 toddlers involved with long beach days. Yada, yada, yada. I had the lobster bisque.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But yeah, it was super good. Well worth a return trip. So anyone coming over or anyone in Sweden looking for a little escape, especially this time of year, because that September, like end of September trip to the Mediterranean, it's perfect because everyone's back at work. So everything's empty. You don't have as many options to like go out. So if you're into like the party thing, that's probably not the time to go. But if you're looking for like a super chill, on the cheap kind of thing, that's the time to go to the Mediterranean because the water is perfect.
That sounds like my kind of trip.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Definitely. Hey, now the currency-wise, well, I'm assuming that anything outside of Sweden is going to be cheaper than.
Oh yeah.
Where did you guys go last time? You were on that pirate ship.
That was Greece.
That was Greece, wasn't
it?
Yeah. Okay.
So that time we were on Kos. So that was more. That was more like a Club Med kind of Greece situation, where it was like the quote unquote all inclusive restaurant or hotel. Sorry, but then they were so used to all the British expats coming in and just like drinking all that they can. So it's really watered down beer, like half a shot in every cocktail kind of thing, because they're prepared for the Brits coming in just getting sloshed all the time. So before that, we were on Lesbos, and it was more like a bed and breakfast style kind of hotel. It was privately owned and operated, and it was a lot smaller. So then you really get that Greek kind of very personalized service, which is really, really nice.
Nice.
But yeah.
Okay. So Croatia is now on the list.
Gotta go. Okay. Must go.
Okay.
And if you need an Airbnb, I know a guy.
You know a guy. Okay.
I mean, it was this guy. He was probably, I don't know. He was retired at this point, but he used to work on loads of, he was saying NAFTA boats. And I'm like, NAFTA? I think you maybe mean NATO. But anyway, he used to be an engineer for some branch of Siemens, and then he was working with like fixing equipment on boats. So he's a tinkerer. So he's got this big house that goes up the mountainside with like, and then he converted a bunch of like buildings on his like little mountainside plantation to Airbnbs. Like he's got like 3 Airbnb units. And then he's got like grapes and olives and pomegranates growing up the side of the mountain, and it's amazing. And he has invented, because it's Airbnb, like normally he's got like, I don't know, 200 steps to get to the top, like the top building at least. Yeah. And so he hand built this dumbwaiter system. Yeah, basically. this, you know, in like Indiana Jones and what is it? Temple of Doom, when they have to get in the mining cart.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. So it's like that, but you put your luggage in it, and then he holds the button, and it goes, and it pulls it all the way to the top.
Okay.
And after, exactly. And like the first night, we're like, what is this thing? And then by the time we're leaving, we're like, by the way, you designed and built this thing, didn't you? He goes, yeah, of course I did. Like, I knew it.
Toaster parts and
Oh yeah.
We got some.
He opens up his garage. It's just like spare everything, everything you can imagine.
He's like, hey, Sean, you want to ride it? You want to test it out? And be like, hey, you know what? I'll get on. I'll get on the next one. I'll take you up on the next one.
Exactly. But yeah, it was super, super nice. And we had a little bit of culture clash with the VIP of the group, Mr. Dylan, because he is now at the point of his potty training where it's even a struggle to get him to wear a diaper at night because he's a big boy, you know.
Right.
He doesn't pee in his pants or poop in his pants.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. However, when you're driving back from the beach, that's an hour and a half away from your Airbnb or even 30 minutes, he goes, Dada, I want she. So you have to pull over on the side of the road. And some of these roads, it's like driving in Wales where it's like a single lane, but it's two-way street. But there's a cliff involved. So it gets complicated sometimes.
Right.
And we didn't bring the little toddler.
The porta potty.
Yeah,
thing.
the porta potty thing where you like put it on the floor, they do that, and then they go.
Right.
So he learned how to like stand on his tippy toes to go in the real toilet and all, because we didn't have the step either that we have here.
Okay.
So we were lacking infrastructure. So yeah, I don't know what the Croats were thinking, but they're like, this kid keeps pulling his pants down and peeing in the middle of public.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well,
keep an eye on that dad.
Sweden.
As soon as he goes for his belt.
Exactly.
And there's kind of an immediacy, right, to the whole potty thing. I mean, it's like now he's like.
Let me tell you about the flight back. We flew Ryanair, and Ryanair for any Americans listening is the European equivalent of Spirit. It's like, you bought a ticket. Let me spit in your face now.
Ooh.
Like, you didn't check in online and not get your boarding pass. Now you have to pay 600 crowns to check in.
You want to wear both of your shoes on this flight?
Yes, exactly, exactly. I'm like, no, you pay for the normal ticket. You have to walk up the ladder into the airplane with all your baggage. But then on the way back, the seatbelt sign was on forever, especially as we were approaching, like before we started doing the descent. And guess what happens? Dada, I want she.
Ooh,
and I'm like, we can't get up. The captain put the seatbelt light on, and they had already done the thing. You know how when they first turn the seatbelt light on, then people are still going around and getting up and getting their bags out and doing stuff. Yeah. And then it takes like the third person for the head flight attendant to be like, hey, get your butt in the seat or we're putting this plane down right now. Yeah. So that had already happened. And I'm like, if I stand up now, I'm going to cause an international incident. But then it just like this, I'm like, you're wearing a diaper. We put a diaper on you on purpose. So if you really need to go, you can go and then we'll clean you up after. And no.
Yeah.
So then like one of the flight attendants was walking by and I'm like, hey, you walk no further.
Yeah.
How much time before we turn off this light? Because this one has got to pee. And he's like, at this point, rabid Wolverine or honey badger, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And she's
He's turning. He's turning.
Oh, yeah. We said we were going to turn it off for people to go to the bathroom. Like, you need to turn it off.
No.
So then she runs up to the front and she gets on the phone to talk to the people in the back, right? And then like a minute or two later it goes dong, it turns off and
Yeah.
Go Dylan, go. And to his credit, the diaper was dry. He held it in the whole time.
Dylan, man.
Trooper.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, that is tricky because you try so hard to get them not to go in their diaper.
I know.
So then all of a sudden trying to say, hey, it's okay, buddy.
I know.
You can go ahead and do it in the diaper.
I mean, he is doing the right thing, but it's also like he has no bladder control. So when he wants to pee, he has to pee. He doesn't have that, what is it, pelvic floor, whatever it is. Yeah. Doesn't have it yet. But he's getting better, but it's still like, I didn't get to go out to dinner because you're being a toddler. So give me 5 minutes on this flight, And they didn't turn the light off. I'm like, you know how many kids you got on this plane, and it took off the airport at 9:00 at night? I'm like, they wouldn't turn the light off. I'm like, the big lights. I'm like, guys, come on, everyone. Like, now it's reverse Avatar and reverse Australia. Not everyone outside that window. Everyone in this plane wants to kill you.
Nah. It's like, you guys don't have a dimmer switch or something? I mean, can we unscrew some light bulbs? It's like Ryanair.
Exactly.
Hey, can we just reach up and unscrew some of these lights?
No one's going to notice anyway. It's Ryanair. You just hose everything down anyway.
How long was the flight?
2:45-ish.
Okay.
I mean, it's Ryanair, so they say 2 hours, 50 minutes, but then they get there like they overestimate how long it's going to take. So then when you're landing, they go, "Oh, we've arrived 10 minutes early." And everyone's like, "Ooh, wow." I'm like, no.
No, that dog don't hunt. Sell that to somebody else. You know,
That dog don't hunt. Oh, that's
you know,
great.
they're gonna have like they add an hour onto the trip. Look, we got you there a whole hour early. You're like,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's super close.
but that's not. I mean, I don't know if people realize how far you can travel, like in Europe. I mean, these distances. Because
Europe is not that big.
No, it's like Kansas. Well, no.
Well, it's like that part of Canada that it gets all bubbly, right? It's that part.
It gets
of
all
Canada,
screwed up on the maps.
Yeah, that gets all warped and all that. Europe can fit right up there.
You know what? I think it's time that they send somebody up to the northern part of Canada and actually draw that part of the map in. You know? Can't we?
Or
can't
at
we
least
finish
write
that
on
part of
every
the
map, not to scale. No one
Something
else is
here.
up there. Like, who else is up there? Russia? Or like
Something
Kiruna?
here.
It's like, no, it's dark there all the time anyway. No one cares.
It's just a big gray area. So I went and I picked up my passport. I now officially have my Swedish passport, which is a great thing. I'm really happy that I now have my Swedish passport, that I am now a Swedish citizen. But I've been catching myself, like, not thinking critically, but now all of a sudden I no longer have the benefit of saying, yeah, those, the Swedes, boy, the Swedes are, that's very
criticizing
Swedish.
yourself now.
Yeah, now all of a sudden it's like self-reflection or,
I love it.
But it is, I mean, it is a document. It's not as if they handed it to me and then all of a sudden I had all of the answers.
Wait, let's take a minute to appreciate one of the best moments of commentary we've ever had on this show. This passport, it is a document. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's not like a magic wand or something. It's not as if they gave it to me and I grabbed it and all of a sudden everything just made sense. You're like, oh, okay, that's why.
It's like once you have the passport, all of a sudden you don't have to pay 25% VAT on everything. Like, not just
no,
a
but
document.
I thought that I would get like some moments, like flashes of enlightenment or something. I'm like holding it to my forehead, and I'm going.
But now, how do you deal with doors? Do you just do you not know what to do, or you still have that American essence where it's like, okay, I'll wait for this person to walk all the way through the door before I try and go through?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm going to take an online class on that whole door etiquette thing, and it really depends on whether I'm wearing my Rodney US cap or my other cap. But we'll see. But
that's amazing. Congratulations, though.
Thank you.
Long
Thank
time.
you.
In the
Yeah, I
works.
flipped through it. I flipped through the whole passport to find out if there was like any tips or
Well, what do they
like if
use
there's
for like the pages? Because in the American passport, like you have like these watermark kind of things in the background on the pages,
Right.
like the Lake Mount Denali, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The lake with the mountains that Bob Ross paints. And
Right.
then
Those.
you
That
have
one,
the bald eagle and the Liberty Bell and all that stuff.
Exactly. Right.
So what is it, like Kalis caviar? Or
No, close. No, but the Swedish passport has it's like they're not screenshots, but they're like different portions of the country map. So it's like different
Oh,
areas, sections of Sweden, kind of watermarked, but they're kind of weird angles where the cities don't really match up to where you think they should be. I don't know if they're. It's not like
it's
everything
like
is
that mode of Google Maps on your phone where if you swipe the wrong way, everything goes.
right. Everything is. Yeah, it's kind of like that because there were things on that map that just didn't make sense. I know that I'm a new Swede, but there were still things on that map that I questioned.
Hey, I've walked 85 kilometers over here, and that's not where that is.
Hey, I know Stockholm, buddy. I know Stockholm. But
Well, I'm thinking your expedition on the planks too, walking through the middle of the highlands.
oh yes, that survival trip. But they're also all like Swedish birds. So there's like a Swedish bird highlighted like on each section, and yeah, I actually took a look at it when I went to bed that night. That I was like, okay, I'm gonna flip through this. I'm
Put
gonna
it
try
on
and
your
read
pillow.
it. Well, yeah, I'm hanging on to it for dear life. I'd be like, I'm not letting this go. Lena said, "Let me see it." No, you got your own. No, here, give me that.
This is fresh. It has no stamps in it.
My precious. Oh, my precious. But there's some like cool stuff I know I don't remember exactly, but I know in my US passport there's like different text parts, and there's like quotes, or there's different little things in
Oh,
there.
that's
So,
right. There are a few quotes here and
right.
there.
So that's why I'm flipping through the Swedish one going, "Oh, this is going to be good. There's going to be some stuff in here." But then my sense of direction was all out of whack because the maps weren't really the way that I expected them to be. And I thought there might be a recipe or two,
At least outpicture, at least a little fifan.
something in there. But they are high tech. I mean, the passports are super high tech stuff.
High tech. What are they? Holograms? How are they high tech?
Well, I mean,
It is a
they're-
document, famously.
kind of, but it's much more. It's like a document on steroids. It has there's like the
Ew.
page with the picture is super. I don't know what they have in there. I mean, there's a plate of something in there. There's a see-through window on one of the pages. So
What?
so that when you close it, like your face lines up with this whole. It's.
Whoa.
But what gets me is, I mean, how many passport people really know what it's supposed to do? It's like, how do they know that window is supposed to line up, or that the watermark is?
That's going to be the next passport forgery. Just do all sorts of weird technical looking things. Be like, it's brand new.
Yeah.
Then be like, ooh, you got the new one. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want me to stamp it? Are you sure? Or do you want it to be fresh?
As you slide it across the thing and be like, yeah, good luck figuring this one out, buddy. I just got this.
If you turn it upside down and turn your face inside out, then you can read it
Right.
clearly.
This is the X9000 passport. Swedish. Swedish. What's next on the list with the move stuff happening? Are you guys, you seem a little bit more relaxed?
A little bit more relaxed. I've got a little bit more clarity about the work situation stateside, and then following that is going to be the healthcare situation stateside, because famously, it's healthcare most of the time is provided by your employer. So we've gotten some things ironed out, but it's still like, okay, I've got a 3-year-old. I'm going to need like the expensive one.
Right. Yeah.
It's like we're in that phase of life, but everyone's got their customs forms, both the local moving people and the Miami arrival people. We're figuring out Dylan's room and how it's going to get built out. So things are finally starting to, like, the big pieces are kind of starting to fall into place.
Okay.
We're seeing some movement on the house, so I don't want to spoil anything yet or jinx it. So knock on wood, knock on wood for us. Everybody, keep your fingers crossed for us at home. But yeah, there's some promising signs there. So the big pieces are kind of getting moved off the board. Now is when, like, all the stress that was there before,
Right.
now it's like all the little tiny details that you have to figure out how to get done. Like imagine if, knock on wood, we get the house closed, it's like on to the next person. The moving company comes on the 23rd, which is a Friday of September.
Right.
Then no one does anything on the weekends here because they're like, respect my time, right? Respect my holiday, respect my weekends. Nothing's going to happen there. And then I've left one day, Monday, to go to the real estate agent and turn over keys, which means I'm going to have to find a cleaning company to come in over the weekend and do like the professional cleaning before we get out of there. You know?
Right.
Because that's always included in the contract somehow. But yeah, it's going to be to the wire. But we've got the hotel next to Arlanda that's got the sauna and the pool so Dylan can be distracted and all that. But it's like, now everything's going to go super quick. I know this feeling. I know what happens. That's the crazy piece. Everyone's like, oh, you look like you need to sleep or relax.
Right.
I'm like, relaxation will happen in January.
Yeah.
Because even when we move from London to here, it's the same continent, but it still takes you 3 months to get everything at least up to the point where you feel like you're treading water instead of like trying to figure everything out brand new again. So even if we know like how the system works, we haven't lived in Miami for 6 years, so it's going to be completely different. Yeah. So it's going to, just like a foreign place, is going to take 3 months to get ourselves sorted out. Plus, that's how long it's going to take for the furniture to get there. At least
is it 3 months? Is it like container
stuff?
stuff?
It's going to take 4 months because of all the backups everywhere. But I mean, Miami's not San Diego, so it's typically everything coming in from Latin America, and they just that one smells like it has cocaine on it. Let it through. You know?
Right. That one smells kind of fishy. We'll just let that one through.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But the big, like a chess game, the big pieces are kind of getting taken off the board. So now it's all about the fine details and trying to make sure you have all the stuff figured out. Right. Like now I can start to think about car insurance, the electricity bill that you have to have like day one ready to go and like all that stuff. So yeah, now comes the fun part.
Here is a question that we typically ask our guests that I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up with. Is there anything from here that you're actually going to be buying? Or I didn't get to finish my question. I didn't get to finish my question. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses, buddy.
Ipren?
Okay. Hold on. I haven't finished the question yet. Are there a couple of little knickknacks that you think you'll be buying to bring with you? And you can't say bread, and you can't say Ipren.
Yeah, I know. I will say, though, we are going to miss the bread over here because even though Croatia, especially, like Europe in general, has much better bread. And we live on top of a bakery. Like the water-facing side of our building on the first floor is a bakery. So, and the guy's actually there every morning making it, so you can't beat that. And we will be taking back, though, some Swedish books.
Okay.
For Dylan, so he can still have those stories and stuff like that. Things like Pippi, if we can like get like another Pippi thing or two. When we're always going to have like YouTube, so he'll have Bolibompa and Summer Suga and all that kind of stuff. Right. Is there something though that we will bring back? I do have my eye on a piece of art that's in a gallery in Sikla. That's not so expensive, but it's weird in that it would fit perfectly in Miami.
It's just weird. It's just strange enough to fit in Miami.
It's just enough different colors that it works. And I've had my eye on it for a while. So we'll see. Ooh. It depends how much everybody's bills are at the end of this month. Right. Between the interior designer and the mover and Hemnet and all that other kind of stuff. And when does the money from the house sale, knock on wood, assuming that happens, hits the bank account? And yeah. So all depends.
Hey, worst case scenario, just sneak one of those staging pictures. You just kind of tuck it behind the couch. You can hang on to one of those.
I'm pretty sure they've done inventory of everything.
Okay.
I think someone might have thought of that before. Right. As lovely as the draped sheets are in that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Either
the
that or
squiggly over here that I'm looking at.
Either that
right
or they
now.
send you a bill. They're like, we're really glad you enjoyed that painting that we sent you. Woo,
It's from Bow Concept. It costs 5,000 crowns. Be like, what? It's a picture of a sheet. Yeah, but it's their sheet.
All right, everyone, that is going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to head over to Instagram and check us out over there. There's always some cool, crazy things going on. And then come back here next time for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.